Well, aloha from my kayak. Hopefully you can see the beautiful landscape behind me. We are in a different kayak, and I was going to take you on the beach on another island, on the back side of the island over here, but it appeared to be occupied, and I did not bring anyone else with me and didn't want to be on an island where a bear has decided to hang out. So I am just going to sit on the water here with you, and we will probably spin a little bit, and hopefully that won't be a distraction for you. Hopefully you will enjoy it, and the bright sky and the beautiful water and the trees and the vista will make you feel like you are very much welcome here and a part of the conversation, right? Well, for those of you who are seeing me and hanging out with me for the first time, my name is Melissa. Everyone calls me Mel. I am on, oh my gosh, the bird just flew right over the front, very close to the water. Hopefully you guys will get to see and hear the sounds of nature over my chatter. Anyways, you'll find me on YouTube on the Encourage Better feed. You will find me on Instagram as mski knits, and my website is encouragebetter.com, where you can find me blogging about things and sharing my love of knitting as well as my love of human beings. So right now I'm going to talk to you about a few things that I have been working on. And some of the things that I've been working on, I am excited because, you know, when you've been working on something for a while and it's like a long-term activity, how many of you, I'm just trying to get us to a good spot. I'm in a new kayak and I didn't have an anchor for this one. So I'm trying to be very mindful, because as I pull us over here, let me see if I can turn and back up a little bit. There are a lot of things that will definitely be a hazard. See this here? This is all barnacles. This is why I have a new kayak today, because yesterday I had it in my mind as I was kayaking that I wanted to beach the kayak in a certain area, and it was a negative tide, and it's even though it's a rigid hull inflatable kayak, the rigid hull versus barnacles won. So I'm in a different kayak today and kind of getting my legs under me, or the sea under me, and getting comfortable. So I'm trying to pay attention. Trying to pay attention to you and the beautiful scenery, and be very aware of the fact that you and I are floating on the water very much. Do you want to see the water real quick before we start talking about knitting? And then I can share with you more about what I am working on long term. Okay, let's see if we can flip this over so you can see. The water is very clear below. There is the shoreline. In between here where we are and there is a nice stretch of water that a lot of float planes we will rely on. Behind us, I don't know if you can hear the water lapping up against the barnacle covered rocks. It's just absolutely beautiful. And I'm really stoked that I can spend this time with you. Let me get you situated, and let's talk about some knitting. So for those of you who have been following along with me for any length of time, you know that I am a sock knitter. And by a sock knitter, I mean a single sock. One sock suits me just fine. It serves the purpose for me, and I'm quite happy with just one, and then moving on to another one. The one that I've been working on for a little while right now is this one. This is the Hypnotic Sock I've made a little more progress since the last time I shared this. But for those of you who this may be the first time you've seen it, this is a pattern by Summer Lee Knits Design. Summer Lee Knits on Instagram. She's fabulous. The sock is cuff down. This is the toe. So you knew that, most of you, I'm sure, but I didn't want you to think, what has she done? I didn't want you to think I've done something a little wrong. I just changed it around so that way I could start toe up. I am not a fan of the Kitchener. I have had many people explain to me how to Kitchener. I can Kitchener, but I enjoy casting on at the toe and binding off at the cuff. So if you like this pattern and you are not stoked about cuff down socks, the good news is this is a very simple, straightforward pattern that you can modify to be this way, toe up. I'm pretty sure I will finish one sock, and I'm optimistic that I may do two, but I'm not sure. I don't want to commit. Something I do want to share with you is this, a little Little Skein in the Big Woods, who is by Anne, and I forgot her last name. She had a wonderful Beatrix Potter kit, and this little item came in it. And what this does is, the purpose this serves is a double pointed needle holder. So that way, on the go knitting, this is really delightful. It has 2 snaps. You can set your needles in. It just cushions them in there, and it keeps all of your stuff safe and sound. Man, it is so beautiful out here. It is flat, calm. I feel like I'm on a lake rather than in the ocean. Something I wanted to talk about real quick before I move on into a little bit of yarn and what's in my bag is the fact that a lot of people who engage with me on Instagram, they email me, they are followers of the blog, just friends. I hate to call you guys followers, you're more like friends. Anyways, there are a majority of people who do not live near the water and haven't had much experience on around the ocean. They'll go, a few people that I know that share with me their experiences with being on the water and by the water are often rivers and lakes, which are just beautiful. And so what I wanted to do is share about Kodiak for just a moment, if I may, so that it kind of puts into perspective what I mean when I say certain things. If you don't live on islands, some of the language of islands, you know, you may learn in school when you're a kid, but most of the time you, look at that sun. Most of the time you know what you know because it's familiar to you. And one thing that is interesting about Kodiak is, as you look around me as I'm spinning around, and this is totally intentional, I want you to see that there's of course water, and you know, as an island we're completely surrounded by ocean, but Kodiak is an archipelago. And simply put, an archipelago is a collection of, so we have Kodiak Island, which properly Kodiak Island is the 2nd largest island in the United States. It's massive. It's second only to Big Island of Hawaii, which is a massive island. An archipelago, though, the main part of Kodiak is huge, and then you will notice all around me, you'll see these islands of a variety of different sizes. And the collection of islands around the main island becomes an archipelago. And one of the joys of living here is being able to, right on the other side of this island here, actually if you just climbed over this hill to the other side, which is why I wanted to take you here, is you can climb over, you can see the Pacific Ocean as far as your eyes can see. But behind us, or behind you, and now it needs to be behind me so you can see it, you'll see the mountains. And so the way Kodiak is shaped, that's the main island over there that you see the mountains. My favorite mountain is behind me, and that is Mount Kashaveroff. I love hiking Cache. It's just a beautiful, beautiful hike. It's quite a workout. And then going past Cache, you can go into Center, and Center Mountain. That whole area there it's an incredibly amazing hike. But behind us, over there where you see the white caps, that is Kodiak proper. And these are just the outlying, oh, I wonder if you could see these. It's just the outlying islands around us. Let me see if I can turn you slowly and if you'll be able to see the wind turbines. Let me see. Maybe. Let me get you a little bit more. Yep, there they are. So for those of you, let's see if I can keep my big head. My head is as huge as the sun. So the turbines over there, something else, again, before I talk to you about knitting, if you're here for the knitting, if you're here only for the knitting, you're gonna be really disappointed because I love knitting. I am obsessed with knitting, but I am obsessed with other things too. So these lovely wind turbines, and the bush plane in the background, these lovely wind turbines and the hydro plant are what powers the majority of Kodiak Island. We are a green resourced island, and we're very proud of that. And that mountain over there is Pillar. You and I have hiked up that before too. If you haven't seen some of the videos, they're definitely on my YouTube channel. Most likely if you go back and you scroll quite a bit, you'll see this. This is where we were when I was hiking last year with my husband and Sasha. And Sasha and I were running, and we were running ahead, and we ran into a bear. It was just crazy. Luckily, the bear was on the other side of an embankment, and the way the wind was blowing, we were properly placed to turn around and move on out. So in Kodiak, you do need to be mindful of when you're on the sea or when you're on the water that there are some safety precautions. And one thing I do want to acknowledge is I get asked a lot, Mel, do you really go kayaking alone? And aren't you supposed to kayak with a buddy? So the answer to that is yes and yes. You should, just like when you hike, you should hike with a buddy. You should kayak with a buddy. But to be frank, not all my buddies are available to go kayaking with me. And my family generally doesn't want to spend 9 hours out on the water with me. I will work really hard during the week and get as much stuff done as I can so I can get out and spend time on the water. Like when we were in Hawaii, it was, my husband can totally relate because he could spend the entire day in the ocean surfing. So here I'm not gonna go surfing, but I love being on the water. So a couple of things to be mindful of if you want to know, like my mindset is, whether you are going with a buddy, and especially if you decide to go by yourself, you always have an inflatable. I have my paddle, and I always carry an extra when I'm by myself. I also pack an extra life jacket. You guys are sitting on a case that is buoyant and waterproof, and it has extra water. It has things in it that should I flip over, it's actually most often it's tethered down, but it has things in it. But the most important thing after a life jacket actually the most important thing that happens prior to getting in the kayak is I make sure that I go over a detailed plan of where I'm going, where I plan to be at what time, how long I think I'll be in an area, and I give that information to multiple people. I also try to, when I get signal, I try to check in. So though you should kayak with a buddy, and if you are going to kayak, you should definitely, just like with surfing, you should talk to locals and find out what the bottom of the water is like, get some understanding of the way the water behaves, and just in general, make sure that you're aware. Same thing with here. I have been a person who has always loved the ocean. I have always been around the ocean, and I am very cautious. So I feel very confident when I go. And yeah, so that's an answer to a much asked question. Do I really go kayaking by myself? There is nobody behind me. I'm not gonna lean too far over because that's not smart. And yes, I do in fact go a lot by myself. I like being by myself. I like being with you. I love being with people, but to feed my soul and my creativity, I need to be out in nature, and I need to have some time all alone. Okay, so I shared with you the socks. Let me just share with you the yarn real quick because I know that's something everybody asks. Although you're gonna hate this one. I'm gonna share with you this yarn, but you can't get it. This was a one-of-a-kind colorway from a club, and this was a one-of-a-kind colorway from a kit for a special shawl that I reclaimed for these socks. But instead of telling you about these colors, because she always has brilliant colors anyway, and really this is your adventure, you don't need me to tell you about the colors. They're just pretty colors. It's pinks, it's gray. This gray though, what's really cool about it is, let's see if I can get it close enough. The gray actually has undertones of green, which is really unique and I love it. But this is Space Cadet yarn. It's her Aurora base. And really, my friend, that's all you need to know. You go and pick your own colors anyway because you don't want to knit anything that looks like mine. The Aurora base has 20% cashmere and it's ridiculously soft. If I was going to knit 2 pairs of socks that matched, I would knit it out of this because it's so soft. So who knows, maybe I will. It's so pretty. The thing is, here in Kodiak, it will rain and rain, which I love. And we wind up getting like, well, not we, I love rain. I love winter now. I love it when it's dark and it's cozy. I love it when it's sunny. I'm good, just whatever. I'm happy. I'm not happy. I'm content. I can find contentment. Some dude named Paul once said that, and I'm taking his advice, that in all things we should try to find contentment. So, Paul, I'm listening to you, and yes, I'm going to try to find contentment in all things. But on days like today, it's so easy to be content. And the cool thing that I've noticed about locals here, it will rain and people are grumpy. They just, I wish it would stop. I wish it would stop raining. One of these days, I'm just going to leave Kodiak because it rains so much, which also isn't true. It doesn't rain nearly as much as it does if you live in Southeast Alaska. But you get the first sunny morning. Doesn't even have to be the full day. You get a sunny bit of sun, and this is what you have. Like, look at this view. And suddenly, every single person that lives here is like, this is the best place to live. It's amazing. I would never want to live anywhere else. And it gets them through till the next time. So, okay, next thing. I've got something in here. I could show you. This is a little knit that I'm doing with my Knitters Project Bag Collective group. The members of Knitters oh, there are these neat long, I don't know what they are. They're fish. They're in the water, they're fish. I don't know what kind of fish they are. Do you want to peek? Let's see if I can find them for you. Ready? Can you see them? I'm hoping that came out, because if not, you were just staring at nothing. But below that nothing, there was actually a bunch of long, thin fish. They don't look like salmon fry, but, and I hate that they call salmon fry. It makes me think of how people just eat them, but whatever. Anyways, Knitters Project Bag Collective members are working on understanding how their choices impact their knitting. So one thing that we started with is a hat, and this is what the hat looks like, right? But then to give you some understanding of the way color works, I'm just going to share this with you. They're going to see it too. So this hat, it's the same exact hat, worked in 2 different ways. And it just shows that when you have a main color and a contrast color, that, you know, if you just cast on and you don't actually know, like, I mean, well, it's hard to actually know what something is going to look like before you swatch. You may love the 2 color choices that you've picked for yarn. For instance, if this was yarn A, you guys keep your eye on it behind me. Don't let me crash into anything. So if this is color A and this is color B, and you're just like, okay, these 2 colors together are fabulous. I love them, and I want to knit something out of it. You may think, and you may think correctly, that I want this to be A and this to be B, and it'll work up like this, where the white, you know, just kind of catches your attention at the beginning, and then it kind of pops in different ways later on. But the same yarns can give you a completely different feel when alternated or changed. So A becomes B and B becomes A. Oh, we've got plenty. It looks much closer here on TV, so, or on camera. So this is a project I've been working on. It's been a lot of fun. I'm having a very good time doing that with Knitters Project Bag Collective. We're going to do that as a knit together. Really excited. If you want to learn more about Knitters Project Bag Collective, let me know, and I would happily share with you some information. But these, my friend, are empty. These are size 10 and 10.5 needles. And it is a project that I have been working on, and I'm going to show you my little book so you can see it. This project is going to be something that I've been working on, and I'm super stoked about. I've been working on it for some time, and I know I've said that twice. It's because I'm trying to get, I don't want to show you this. I'm going to have to rip something, sorry. It is little pattern notes that I can't hold up for you guys yet, because that wouldn't be fair. Anyways, I have been working on this pattern and really enjoyed it, and had a very special notebook for it. These guys, it's Moglia, I think is how they pronounce it. They're hand screen printed, hand painted, and I love them because they lie flat when you're writing. I filled up many, well, whenever I knit, I fill up a lot of these, and I keep notes. And so the notes that I kept on this project, it was so much fun, and I'm really excited and eager to share that with you. I'm going to show you some of these yarns that I brought. And yeah, I do bring all this stuff with me because my plan was I was going to sit on the beach here and knit for a couple hours and plan and strategize. I just wanted to show you these 3 cones of yarn. These are from Habu Textiles. I love, love, love their stuff. This, believe it or not, is steel, and they are gorgeous. So this one is a brown, this is a tan, natural, and a purple. All three were utilized in some capacity for the projects that I have coming up to share with you this summer, this spring, this summer, this fall, and this winter. Friend, I have you covered for projects for a long time coming, and I'm just ridiculously excited to share this adventure with you. Life can really be difficult. I am not going to sugarcoat that. I know people always say, oh, Mel, you're always so happy. And I just want to let you know, it's not that I'm happy. It's that I am trying to choose joy, and I'm trying to choose contentment. And I want to encourage you to find joy too. I hear from a lot of you, and it just makes me all the more eager to hop on here and talk with you in person and share bits of my world with birds flying and seal. I wish I had videoed it earlier. There was this seal that just kept along with me for the longest time and just kept me company. Ooh, my friend, I have been keeping you company for a little too long. I try to keep these under 20 minutes, and we've been chatting now 26 minutes. Those wind turbines. I hope, though, that you found that this was peaceful and enjoyable, and I hope wherever you are in the world that the sun is shining on you and that you realize that you are a treasure. You are a gift to the world, and even though we may not sit with each other and chat with each other regularly, and you may think that I don't know who you are, my friend, I don't have to know who you are, where you live, what you're knitting. I can know this. I do know this, and I trust this completely, that you were created on purpose, with a purpose, filled with creativity, filled with gifting. And though you may have made mistakes, though you may have had bad moments, though you may have caused bad moments, you get a fresh chance every day. You deserve to give yourself grace to have those fresh starts, those new chances every day. Hear my heart on that. You're amazing, you're wonderful, and I am so thankful that someone like you is here on the planet with me. And I hope one day our paths cross, but until then, feel free to get in the comments and share with me what you're doing and anything that maybe in the future that you're interested in me sharing with you. I hope I haven't gotten you seasick. And no, I did not knit this hat. When you can't knit a hat, you should definitely wear a Carhartt. They are so comfy. They're so soft. No, they don't pay me to say that. Between Carhartt and Extra Tough, I'm always kitted out and not fashionable like most people, but I am comfortable and I am happy. I'm happy and warm. So take care of you, and let me see if I can't spin you around one last time so you can see this beautiful, beautiful world. Let's see. It would have been really cool if you guys could have seen the bear. If I go back on the other side and he's there, well, I don't know if I'll have time. My friend, it's almost 8 o'clock at night here. Actually, it's after 8 o'clock at night here. Isn't this crazy? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the fact that I just got to share this time with you. Take care, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.